Guys, it's just Cards by Sarah. Today I want to share a video of a project that I made for Imaginarium Designs. I made this tag. I'm just going to pick. Hopefully you guys can see it. So I've clustered in the middle and my dangles. And then on the back I've got my bats and my middle. I'm just going to lay it down for you guys to see. Basically what I did was I started off with a chipboard tag, and it's a size 10 tag, and what I did was I went over with the Tim Holtz Shattered mask, which I thought, it is shattered glass, but I thought it looked like a spider's web also. So I thought that was really cool. And I also used, I recently got at the show some of the Finnabar products. And I got the texture paste in the white crackle. So if you guys can see up close, hopefully you can see those cracks in it. I love this stuff. And then what I did was I started spraying, and you know, I love my sprays. So I started off with by Lindy's in the Teapot Purple, and this is from the Mad Hatter range, that Alice in Wonderland type themed range, and I love that colour. I use it all the time. And I also used Deep Purple from Tattered Angels. So it's this deep plum. So it's absolutely gorgeous. So that's the background. I also used Donna Salazar's brown ink. I'm not too sure what this one is, but it was a smooch spritz and the bottle had blots, so I put it in here. But it's actually got like a gold shimmer, but it's brown. I love it. It's sort of like a tea stain look to it. And I did the whole background. Then I also went in with Inca Gold, which is the gold colour that I love so much, this stuff, look. And if you put a wet one in, it actually stops it from getting hard, so that's just a tip. And went over the whole background, and I went around the edges. I then started adding my cluster here, and my spiders, what I did was I had used a die from Diamond Dies, and I had used the spider and this web, and I had created some glitter glass that I had got from Gloria. Thank you, Gloria. And it was white, and I added some re-inker from Tim Holtz in the black soot. And with doing that, it actually and bead gel I used from Faber-Castell, and I went over it, and it just gave those spiders texture, and they're just lumpy, and I just love it. And I also went around the edges of the spider web with it, which I loved, and I just wanted the spider web to be dimensional and popping off the page. And I bent the spider's legs back. And then what I started doing is clustering in the middle. I've used some cheesecloth, which I went over with that deep plum, and also the gold foil spray from Prima, which I got from Scrap with Friends as a trial item. And basically what I did then was I layered my cobweb. I've put the cheesecloth over the top. Hopefully you guys can see that. I might zoom in a bit. And then what I started doing was I got out my chipboard pieces from Imaginarium, which is this boo up the top and the clock here. For the boo, I went over with, I had got in a closing down sale locally a couple bottles of the Tim Holtz paint. I wanted to try it, but there was only a couple bottles left. But I picked up the Seedless Preserve, the Wild Honey, and the Mustard. So basically, I love this stuff, and then I went over with Inca. So basically I just wet it, and it actually gave it some, it just blended perfectly together. And then I also did it on this piece down the bottom with that same paint. Up here I've got these clock pieces I went over, which looked like this. And I went over black paint and Inca Gold. The boo was these letters here, which are all from Imaginarium. The clock, and also I used from Imaginarium this piece right here, which is coming out of each side. There's one here and one here, which I coloured with Prima ink in Summerfield. And I also used, and that was that border that you saw down the bottom and on the back, which I cut in half and put on the front and back, which is a 12 by 12, which is great for layouts also. I also, in my cluster, I've got my leaves, which is a memory box die, which is called Fresh Foliage. So it looks like this. Love this die. And I just bent the leaves back, as I do, using basil cardstock, which is here and here. I've added some leaves from my stash, and I've got Kaisercraft flowers in the purple, in the violet, in the sunset, and in the buttercream. So there's the buttercream. I love these flowers. I used to use them all the time, but I don't so much anymore. This one is the terracotta and in the grape. And I layered Inca over the edges of that. And I also had got a die for free, and it's just fallen out of the packaging. Don't you hate that? Pick everything up and it all falls out. This pumpkin die by Quick Cuts, and I had got it when I purchased off a seller on Facebook. They had a deal on that you got, there was free items in the folder that you could pick. So I picked out that die because I thought it would be handy when I did projects like this. I've added my stems, which are here. I've got my buds on either side. Then down here, like I said, there's that border. And I've also used some dangles that I got from Spotlight a while back in a sale. In one of the sale bins, and it was only $3.50, and I love it. I got it in a lot of colours, and I think there's a meter on that. And I also used these pearls from Kaisercraft, which I use a lot, and this one's in the chocolate. Okay, so now on the back, what I did was I kept the back a bit more simple because I didn't want to take away from the front. And on the back, oh, and I've dangled a charm up here. Go sideways. I've dangled a charm up here, and I've added a little clip with some seam binding crinkle ribbon that I had already coloured and had in my stash. And I've added a memo pin, another one, and chain so it can be hung, or it can just be tacked to a wall, or whatever she wants to do, the person that's receiving this tag. And then on the back, I've used paper from Kaisercraft, and it's called 13th Hour, and it's an older paper, and it's really cool for Halloween. And what I've done is I've cut some bats using a stamp that I had got, and I got this off Marie, and it's a bat, and basically it's by Graphic 45, and I had stamped it and then cut it out. So it's the reverse side of the bat that I had stamped because I didn't want to see the stamping. So I've layered them up the top. Then down here I've used a die cut from a paper that I had, one sheet of, and I've inked it around the edge of all the pieces of paper. It's torn in the middle with another 13th Hour paper laid in the middle. Then I've used some acetate shapes, and again this is from the 13th Hour collection, and they're all different, as you guys can see, and I've just cut that clock in half and laid it the top and the bottom. So I've again run that border down the bottom, and I've also run some bling, and then I have added that chocolate beaded pearls, and then that's the front again. So I'll just show you guys. And I've just added the purple spider for effect. I loved it because it was very blingy. And this is my project for Imaginarium. Be sure to site for more tips and techniques of things you can do with their chipboard. And also, please check out my Facebook page, which is Just Cards by Sara, and subscribe to my channel, Just Cards by Sara, on YouTube. And be sure to like the video and let me know what you guys think. And I'll talk to you all later.